Blog Talk Radio. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning into Yvonne Luttrell's podcast. I am the host, Yvonne Luttrell. Co-host SC is here with me today for our Thoughtful Tuesday show. SC, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Okay, so today we have a guest coming on later, and her name is Dr. Sherell. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, yeah, so she'll be on in about 30 minutes or so. And I do want to apologize, guys and dolls, about last Saturday. It was a last-minute thing, but I do have a TikTok page for those of you that do not know. It's Yvonne Luttrell's podcast, so you can always check that page, and it will let you know if today's show is canceled or not. And like I said last time, you can always call in. The show number is 563-999-3548, and if there's no show scheduled, then that pretty much means that we are canceled. But in other news, do you have any current events that you would like to share, Essie, or anything in particular?
Yes, but did you get the advertisements?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get to that. I have, let's see, if you are into hair care, you guys can check out www.lovealwaysshops.com. Again, that's www.lovealwaysshops.com, and that's for anyone that's into hair care. And also, oh my gosh, I had the other advertisement. Okay, yes. Anna Black, she is an author. She has a book that's getting ready to be adapted into a film, and it's called The Perfect Love Storm. And you could check out all of her books at her website. It's www.annablackbooks.com. Again, that's www.annablackbooks.com. And D. Saunders, he has a book out. It's The Bait and Switch. It's available on Amazon.com. Again, that's D. Saunders. He has a book out, The Bait and Switch, and it's available on Amazon.com. And that's all I have for today. Did you have anything, any advertisements?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I apologize. I'm trying to get more on this. This is going into the news that I was going to talk about this evening about the shooting in Virginia at the high school graduation. I was getting people were sending me information about it because I seen it on Facebook.
Yeah,
I got some family out there. I didn't hear you say it again.
No, I said I sent it to you also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't see it. But I was seeing a bunch of people mentioning about it on Facebook, and a couple of my family members had said something about it. It was in Richmond, Virginia. They said they have two suspects. 5 people were shot, and 3 of them have life-threatening injuries.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's crazy, man. My son graduates in another 2 weeks, and it just makes me think, like when I get around big crowds, you know, you gotta watch everybody. You know, gotta watch everything that's going on with you. You know.
Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah, that these young people that, I mean, they don't take anything serious. They don't care about life. I have no idea what's going on with them. Just, it's really sad. It's really crazy. This is supposed to be a amazing time, a new chapter in these kids' life. They're graduating, and then, this happened. I mean, you see it every day on the news. You don't expect it to happen to you. You don't expect to be a story in the news, but, hopefully the 3 people that are in critical condition, hopefully that they pull through.
Yeah, it's getting sadder and sadder. Nothing is safe. Last week it was the kid getting off the school bus. Then I think 2 weeks before that it was the funeral home that they shot up and they ran into. It's ain't nothing sacred. But I hope and pray that the families can get through this and the people that were shot survive. And I don't know. I'm for the public being armed, but it's like what laws can you put into place? Because people can always get guns, legally or illegally. That's never going to be an issue for people to get a gun. It's just, I don't know, man. This is getting crazier and crazier. Because like you said, people going into a new chapter of their life, and who's to say, they would think that something like this would happen, but
yeah,
life is gonna be life, But in other news, did you hear about the mother that was shoplifted in Florida? And while she was in the store, she was shoplifting. Her car went up in flames with 2 of her children in the car.
Yeah, I'm not even laughing about the part where the car is on fire, but you're taking your kids with you while you're stealing. Come on, that's crazy. So, did they say what caused the car to catch on fire?
Nah, I don't know. I didn't get too far into that story. I was just like, damn, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's like you said, there was another case in South Carolina with this girl and her boyfriend, and he wasn't even the baby's father. He was just a guy she was dating. They went to rob this kid for his PlayStation, and they did it with the baby in the car. And the mother wound up shooting the guy for his PlayStation and killing her. And the detectives were like, wow, why would you even think about putting your child in a situation like that? But people are not critical thinkers. Everybody sees that they need people to think for them. And it's getting crazy because you think about your thought process. You'd be like, well, for one, I'm not going to rob nobody. That's what you're telling yourself. But for 2, why would you bring your child? Like you said, why would you even think about, like, okay, kids, sit in the car, mommy be back, and then, how crazy is it that
No, okay,
she's
no,
doing that?
Yeah, with that, the situation where the car had caught on fire, the kids were not in the store with her. She left the kids in the car, and it caught
Yeah, I
on
know.
fire. Okay, I thought you
Yeah,
said
I
that
know.
they were with her, but yeah, I mean, like, you don't have a babysitter or something. I'm not sure how old the kids were. They didn't say, or maybe I missed that part. But either way, like, you're stealing, your kids should be nowhere with you while you're stealing, and you shouldn't even be stealing anyways. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know. And also, there was another situation. I'm not sure if you heard. It was a black mother of 4. She lost her life after a
Oh yes.
altercation, with an unidentified white woman, and they said that the situation had been going on, I think, since maybe 2021. And the white woman were, I guess, yelling at the kids and telling the kids to get off her property, and calling them racial slurs or whatever. And she took the tablet, one of their tablets, and the black mother went to the house to, I guess, get the tablet, or, I guess, have another disagreement, since they've been going through it since 2021. And the unidentified white woman just shot her.
Yeah.
And they said it's in Florida.
To clear up that story,
Mm-hmm.
story, the kids were in her yard and she yelled at them. They said she did use racial slurs. The kids left, and they left the iPad. The woman retrieved the iPad and took it into her house. The mother pinged the iPad and seen that it was in the woman's house. She went across the street and banged on her door, and she shot through the door.
Yeah, that's
her.
just evil. Like, okay, you've been going through it. You still don't have no right to just shoot somebody.
Yeah, everybody, like I said, I think last week or the week before last, everybody, it needs to be stand your ground states, because it was one of those stand your ground, custodial
Florida,
law states. I think it was Florida,
Yeah,
and
it was.
everybody thinks that they're right. Everybody thinks that, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to shoot through my door without any, whatever. And that's not how that's not how that works.
Right.
That is not how that works. There's other elements that have to be added into it for you to even stand your ground. There's other elements. Everybody say, well, it's a stand your ground state, so I'm not going to retreat in my house. I'm going to start shooting. Yeah, but there's certain things that have to happen in between that. Everybody just thinks, stand your ground. I'm going to stand here, and I'm not going to retreat into my house. I'm going to start shooting. No, other things have to happen. And for her to just
you don't have the right to take someone's life.
I'm pretty sure. But when you do things like that, that's reckless. And with reckless in the law, reckless is perceiving to know what you did was wrong. It could cost someone's life. So that was reckless. She recklessly shot through that door. Because who's to say I'm not Sunday morning quarterbacking it? If she would have looked through the door, seen it, and just shot. Or if she just said, hey, I knew I was just yelling at these kids. I know it's their mother, and she shot through the door. Who's to say the mother wasn't cursing her out while she's banging on this woman's door? But that's still don't give the right to. Yes, that still don't give. That's not a stand your ground. That's not a stand your ground.
She could have called the police and said, my neighbor is banging on my door, whatever. You don't just shoot someone just because you feel like it, just because you're evil. Your life has not, your life wasn't in danger. So
it's just.
She has not been arrested yet. I'm pretty sure that she will be arrested. They're going to have to do something, because I'm pretty sure that the people over in that area is, going to start cutting up as they should.
Well,
you don't just take someone's life like I said, you don't just take a life and then, go to sleep. Oh, okay, I killed someone. I'm just going to go and, have me a snack and go to bed. No.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it plays out, because it's going to have to play out somehow, either for her or against her, and it's not looking good from what people are seeing and what people are hearing other stories, like none of us was there, so we can't really say, we can only go by what other people are saying about the story,
Yeah.
But, in other news, did you hear about the shooting at the baseball game? I'm trying to find out where it was at. But these kids were playing a baseball game, and there's a video of it. I'll send you the video. And the kids were playing ball, and you could hear the shooting in the background. And none of the kids reacted at first until I think one of the parents yelled shooting or something, and everybody started running. Some of the kids got down, but for the most part, everybody got out of Dodge. Like I said, you're not safe anywhere. You thinking you're going to your child's game, and that happened recently, not that long ago, where the coach or one of the referees, I think, got shot because of a call he made. I'm not too sure. I think it was recent, or it could have been something old, and I just seen the video recently. It's like the sportsmanship is out the window. Everybody's a winner. Nobody knows anything about losing because, that's the American dream. Whatever happened to first, second, and third place, everybody gets a trophy now. We teach these kids that, everybody's a winner. Even if you lose, you're a winner, and these kids, they not learning valuable lessons that life will teach that's supposed to be taught. You're not going to always get something that you want. You're not going to always come in first. But you should know how to handle whatever position you come in, But it's just crazy to me. I don't know if you've seen the video of the Chicago chase. They was chasing this car, and this car blew a stop sign and ran into a school bus. And the cops got out and chased the guys or whatever. From what I know, the kids were safe, and they chased the guy. The video's up, I'll send you that too. It's just crazy, man. This world is just losing it, Wherever you turn, there's nothing good on the news, And I guess if it is good, you only hear about 2 to 5 minutes of it. It's never nothing long term, so.
Yeah, well, it is Mental Health Month, so we will be having a few shows on mental health. And if you have any family members that's going through depression, because, depression is real. A lot of people don't know how to handle it. And it's also Gay Pride Month, so we're going to be talking about that also. We have a few videos that's coming out on that, so just stay tuned.
With the mental health thing now, I'm pretty sure that at least 85% of the world have suffered some type of mental health, some type of depression, especially after
Don't
COVID.
say COVID. Oh my gosh.
It's true. A lot of things got exposed. People couldn't go outside. People had to be stuck in the house with their family. People didn't have the freedom to just be free. The world was just closed down. Nobody was
traveling. Yeah, it's so much other things. I don't see. I see that as an excuse. I mean, I know that's how you see it, but I don't know. Maybe because I wasn't even sad. I had COVID like twice or whatever. But I'm just saying, I just wasn't depressed. I don't see how someone can just killing someone because of COVID. I don't know. I just don't. I don't see it. Okay.
And I'm not even just talking about that. I'm not just talking about that. I'm just talking about the world in a whole. You know, people were living paycheck to paycheck already, and then they were put out of work. A lot of people, you know, suffered from that. A lot of people lost their
Yeah,
jobs.
but they had the furlough.
A lot of people
They had the furlough for furlough, like for the people that was out of work.
Yeah, but how well was that really working for everybody? You know, we can't talk about things that other people were going through because we weren't going through it. You understand what I'm saying? We can't talk about something, you know, that you don't know what people were suffering from before COVID. You know, you might not have experienced any hardship or whatever, but that doesn't stop other people, you know, and that's another thing that everybody, we get into this thing of, oh, well, it didn't affect me, or I don't see how, you know. It's not for you to see. It's not for you to see because it wasn't your experience. You didn't have to go through
all of us did go through it. All of us did go through COVID, but you are always saying that after COVID, everybody went crazy. Like, that's not an excuse for someone to just go into a deep... Mm-hmm. Okay, what? I'm listening.
It was COVID. COVID was the culprit of a lot of things. It was. People were suffering prior to COVID, but COVID exposed a lot of other things as well. You know, and you can't, you know, okay, for instance, you know, everybody talks about, oh, my back hurts, my arm hurts or whatever, and then they look at me and be like, well, man, I know you went through the accident, so who am I to complain about my little situation? That doesn't negate the fact that you're hurt or something hurts you. You understand what I'm saying? I would never take that away from people, the what they went through, because I didn't go through it. Don't mean that it didn't affect somebody differently than me. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but it's like I don't know. It's like you always say that. That's why people went crazy. I mean, I think the worst part of COVID is so many people lost their lives. So, I mean, I think that was the bad part, that, you know, the sad part, that a lot of people died. But, okay, so we couldn't go to a restaurant. We couldn't go here. We couldn't go there. But I don't see that as a reason like, oh, man, you know, I have to be with my family. So I'm sad. I want to kill myself. I want to kill somebody else. I don't know. I just don't see it as
and like
a
I
reason
said,
to snap.
you don't
But
know a
COVID is
person's
over
dynamic
and
of their
people,
house.
yeah, but COVID is over and people are still crazy for no reason.
So you think just because COVID being over, that people mental illness is over, or things?
No, I did not say that. No, I'm just saying they were crazy before COVID.
You don't know
it
that.
Didn't
You
just
can't
get
say
crazy
that.
just because of COVID.
I believe, and like I said, my belief. I'm not telling anybody they have to believe what I believe. I just believe that a lot of things was exposed. You know, a lot of people had issues that they had to deal with now. You know, a lot of things, you know, people couldn't get a lot of things. People had to watch family members die on a monitor.
Yeah, but that was of that, but not just because. I'm saying not because of the shutdown. The people dying, that was the saddest part.
Yeah, but like I said, we can't tell a person how to tie their shoes if we never wore a pair of those shoes. And everybody's always quick to say, well, it didn't affect me or it didn't do this to me, but that doesn't say that it didn't affect somebody else differently. You know, I don't have a problem with, you know, people were mentally ill prior to it, but I'm just saying that it helped it along. And like I said, my personal belief,
Mhm.
you know, so I don't know. It's, oh, you know what, too? I wanted to talk about, um, I don't know if anybody's ever thought about, setting up their funeral arrangements, prior to their death, going to a funeral home and say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to be buried, and this, that, and the third. I see
I
something
said that I was
interesting
going to do
today.
that. I said I was going to
Okay.
do that.
Okay. Well, I see something interesting today. This lady had, and she documented it, and I'm gonna see you the video too. She
Mhm.
documented it, and she set up for her funeral and everything. She said what she wanted on tape or whatever, and she wanted
Mhm.
to be buried at sea. And they showed her funeral, and they
Mhm.
showed it was very interesting. You know how they put the casket on the boat. The casket got holes in them so that it sinks and everything. I think you gotta go like forget how many nautical miles or whatever off the sea that you could just
Mhm.
let the body, drop it into the water, because you got to be out of certain waters or whatever, And I thought that was interesting. I don't think that's what I want to do. I think I truthfully want to be cremated. A lot of people say,
Well,
oh, no, I don't want to be cremated, but
yeah.
yeah.
Remember, I told you I wanted to get cremated. I want my ashes scattered over the ocean because I don't like the
Oh,
graveyard.
nah.
I don't like the casket. I don't want to go down in the ground. And I did say that I was going to set everything up because, like, if I die before my mom, I don't want her to think, oh, well, no, she don't need to get cremated because she definitely disagreed. She disagreed with me wanting to get cremated. And she was like, oh, well, I wouldn't want that fire on me. And I'm like, okay, and I wouldn't want maggots and stuff coming out of my body. Oh, well, you're not going to know that anything is coming out of your body. I said, yeah, and I'm not going to know that I'm burnt up either. I just don't want to be buried. I don't know. I know everybody is different, but it's so creepy. It's so scary to me. I just really don't like I hate funerals. I really despise them. I don't like them. When my dad died and just, when they have to lower the casket in the ground, I think that's the saddest thing about a funeral. I don't like them. And so, yeah, and then not only that, the obituary, because like when my dad died, it was a big old thing. Like they're arguing. Well, one of my sisters had a disagreement with one of my other sisters about the obituary, and I'm like, hold up, we just buried Dad. Like, we're not doing this today. And also, I hope one of my sisters do not listen to this episode, but she recently lost her mother-in-law, and she went on and on about the obituary, and I'm like, okay, well, the lady is gone, and like my sister, like, okay, you're the in-law, okay, the kids did what they want to do. Oh my gosh, like my sister just went on like every day. Oh, and I'm gonna say this, like that was not your mom, that was your mother-in-law. Leave it alone. So,
Yeah.
I definitely want to have my obituary, like, you know what I'm saying, and because I feel like it's not about, oh, and they love this person name, oh, they love that person name. It's not about anybody else but the person who who died. So, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah. So, I think that is a great idea for people to to at least think of having their funeral arrangements prepared. I mean, no one likes to think about it, but I think that's a good idea, as well as having life insurance also, because, you don't want to, and a lot of younger people, they don't think that death is going to happen to them. They think they have forever. Then the next thing you know, they have a GoFundMe page trying to bury this person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I just I just want mine to be simple. I don't want nothing extravagant. Why you gonna spend all that money? I want people to come to my funeral and be like, damn, did they even care about him? I want to be buried damn near in a cardboard box. Whatever money you can save, just tell them to burn me. I wouldn't care. I had a joke with my kids. I said, yo, I said, I don't give a damn what you do with my ass. You can see it leave it on the fireplace, knock it over a couple of times and vacuum it up. It wouldn't bother me. I'm not here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember when Dad did this and just knocked it over and or even just flush it down the toilet. I wouldn't give a damn. I'm not here no more. It's like my worries and everything is over with. So,
Right. I mean, I do want the world to just stop for a moment when I die, and I do want everybody to be sad and wonder, how am I going to go on? How am I going to go on? I do want people to be sad. Okay, in other news, it is 9:30. It is 9:30, and we do have a very special guest coming on. So, we're going to stop my foolishness for now. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I just brought her on.
Good evening.
Hello, how are you guys this evening?
Hi, how are you? We are great.
Great. Interesting conversation.
Me and this one over here, we yeah, me and this one over here.
Nicer than me. Huh?
Yeah, we're much nicer than her.
Much nicer than me. Y'all family better keep y'all.
About the funeral arrangements?
Everything. The more I go, the more I've been involved in that process, the more defined my situation gets.
Man, let me tell you something. That's a crazy, I'm speaking from experience. You see a different side of people when somebody dies.
Absolutely.
A different side.
Absolutely.
The money.
My mother passed, and I saw things you never thought you'd see out of people. I saw, but that's okay. It's not gonna be like that with mine. Even down to the kids, they'll call you if they need you.
Right.
It's all arranged. They'll call you if they need you. Don't you come unless they call you.
I know that's right.
That's where it's at. Hey, don't come if you're looking for something. Don't come. Don't put your shoes on. All defined. Wow. It's all done.
Yeah. But we appreciate you coming on the show, and we want to start. Well, first off, how was your day? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's wonderful. Anytime you wake up on this side of the dirt, it's a good day. It's people that didn't wake up this morning, so I am grateful and glad to be here and grateful to be in your space. Okay. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, thank you for coming to the show. We appreciate
thanks
you.
for coming. Mm-hmm.
But I got a couple of questions I want to ask you.
Sure.
And my first question is, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I've always had this passion about creating new things and, making a positive impact. So the idea of being my own boss and having the freedom to pursue those ideas and the visions inspired me to become an entrepreneur.
Okay. So how do you define its success in the context of entrepreneurship?
Well, to me, success in entrepreneurship means not only like achieving financial stability, but also making meaningful difference in the lives of the other, the people that you're going to serve through your products and services. It's like creating value, adding value, to the lives of others, building a sustainable business. And then also it's a learning and a growing process.
Okay. With you saying that, could you share an example of a business idea you had that turned into a success venture?
Yeah, probably about a year and a half ago, I was looking for. I have 3 Florida-based LLCs already, but I was looking for something small to do, and because I always run up on these ideas or see stuff or see a need for something. So I saw this need, and I came up with this subscription service for dog treats. So I went and did some, did the market research, found out who the customers would be, and funding, and all the basics. How to market, who's the market, who's the target audience, all that good stuff. And I started looking it all up, and eventful, I started putting it all together, whatever, and I got it all together and got it going. And it started it started picking up a little bit, but I was already I'm already in the process of running 3 businesses. So, and I was a doctor. I think I was at the end of the doctoral program at the time. So I had to let some things go because I had to prioritize. So I got it started, and it's still going today, but I gave it to my niece. She's in college, and she needed something to do. She needed some employment, whatever. So I gave it to her, and it's still going. But it turned out to be, pretty successful because the subscription service, that's money you can count on. So that means every month she knows, what orders that she needs to fill and who she's sending them to, and then that gives her space to know, where she's got to get new customers from, and stuff like that. So that was a small term successful venture that I got going.
Oh, okay. So how do you identify and evaluate potential business opportunities? Do you have a process?
I do basically, not necessarily in this order, but identify potential business opportunities by, like I try to stay informed about emerging trends. So I watch for new trends. Then I watch for market gaps and pain points where I see problems at. Then I actively engage with, target audiences in certain places. That's what, like these social media groups, they're great for that, where you can go in there and see what people are complaining about or what people are looking for. Then after I evaluate, the market and the needs and all that stuff for these opportunities, then I evaluate the market size, who my competition is, whether it's scalable or not, and how feasible it is to get it going, and how long it'll take it to start to make a profit.
Oh, wow. Okay. What are some of the key challenges you face as an entrepreneur, and how did you overcome them?
Well, early on, one key challenge I remember specifically, and I'm sure every business owner or new entrepreneur can identify with this one. My one key challenge I remember I faced was securing funding as a new business, trying to fund your new business. But I overcame it by building business credit, which is a process. That's a month-to-month process as you build business credit and stuff like that. And then I started exploring like alternative funding sources. Got some lines of credit through my own personal credit, which is something they advise you not to do, but that's something I did. And then once you get your business going, then you can start to leverage the business funds and leave your stuff, and start to leave my funds alone and start using the business funds to build up more stuff, and then, capitalize and start to scale off of that. So that was one of the major challenges. Yeah. And then of course, when you start bringing in people, you start bringing in team members and stuff like that with different perspectives and skill sets, and you got to kind of foster that kind of stuff and, have good communication so that you can bring all that stuff in, and start to make it one.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the fact about you using some of your personal to help with your business, because a lot of times people get into business and don't realize that sometimes you have to put your personal PG, it's called PG, personal guarantee, on the line, and that's why they say you always have good credit. And once you learn how to level that, you can level it through your business afterwards, So I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of people be like, oh, no, I'm going to get an LLC because I can put everything in my LLC and this, that, and the third. but they don't have, because everybody listens to a video, right? And from that video, they come with their own video, and they say, oh, yeah, this is business credit, but whatever. But they don't tell you the backstory of all of that. They don't tell you, like, oh, yeah, some people have to use a personal guarantee. Once you get to that fourth tier level, you get things offered to your business because you have that tax ID number. But some things you're going to have to guarantee it through your personal, or they won't, they won't help you out.
The more credit that you're able to get, the more credit I start to be able to be eligible for, the more your personal guarantee does come into play. These companies aren't, they aren't slacking off now about, that kind of stuff. They want to know that, you're going to guarantee, that $50,000, that $100,000 car that you're getting out at American Express, and stuff like that. So, yeah, you have to, from the beginning to end, that credit is going to come into play at all times. It's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep showing up. So there's really no way to circumvent around it. Even if you got to start off, and like you said, you start off with the little net 30s as you're building. But while you're doing that, be fixing your personal credit. You just can't get around it. Just fix that credit. Get you some letters. Go on and find. They all over the net. They all over social media. Get you some letters and go ahead and start fixing that credit. Just ain't no way around it.
And everybody thinks that LLC is the say all do all. It's not. You need that personal credit as well. That personal credit, while you doing your business, like she said, while you doing your tier levels on your LLC, you have to fix that personal as well, because that personal is definitely going to show and reflect that, okay, this person cares about his personal side besides his business, and he's not going to want to mess that up, So, but I appreciate you bringing that up. Like I said, everybody tells a good story about the LLC, but they never tell you about, you got to get that personal side cleared up too. So my next question is, how do you prioritize and manage your time effectively as an entrepreneur?
Well, the most valuable tool any of us have is our time. So time management is the center of everything. It's crucial. So I prioritize my tasks by identifying, of course, what's most important and the urgent things, and then, leverage, of course, my schedule, my calendar. I have, calendar, paper. I'm old school. I use paper calendar and my phone. So I don't just have one or the other, because if phone go out or you drop your phone or something happens, I still got my paper calendar. So I do both. And, then I got, deadlines and stuff. I set deadlines and stuff like that. Of course, I try to be early on deadlines as much as possible, so that anything happens, you got a little time in there. And then, too, I delegating tasks to my team, to my VAs. I have VAs, I contract VAs, and those are my team members. And, delegating and outsourcing tasks. There's a lot of stuff. I'm not a graphic designer. Things that I don't do. I don't I stay in my lane. While they're doing all this, the other tasks and stuff like that, my job is to be bringing new business into my businesses, to keep my businesses going, to keep my my team members paid, and keep this business growing, and keep things scaling. So that's what I'm doing after I delegate off and outsource those that other stuff that I don't do.
Okay, got you. What are some of the strategies that you employ for building and maintaining a strong network of business contacts?
Okay. I believe in the power of networking big time. Everything that you'll do, business or no business, is relationships. And the power of networking is extraordinary. I have so many opportunities, so many things that have occurred because I knew somebody, or somebody knew that I did something. Hey, you still doing such and such? Hey, I know somebody needs such and such. So the power of relationships, you can't put a dollar on those. And basically, to build and maintain a strong network, I attend some industry events. I get invited. Now I'm getting invited to speak at conferences where I used to attend. Sometimes now I'm getting invited as a speaker. Then I join, relevant professional networking circles, or small communities and stuff like that that's involved with the things that I do. so that, one, that there's opportunities for collaboration where I bring my audience, they bring their audience, and that's an even huge audience. So you've been exposed to twice as many people that you already know. So that expands you right there, and then you offer value to others. And, they get to tell people that they know, hey, I saw somebody the other day. I was at one of my events, and, this person does this. So, that's how your name gets passed through the channels and stuff like that to maintain regular communication with people. And so then, of course, we all know about our social media and emails and, in our chance meetings at these conferences or at these networking spots. That's where you meet people in casual, I don't do, because business cards change so much, I do electronic business cards. So I scan, we scan business cards on the phone. So you never know where that card later on, you might, that always happens to me. I'm looking for something else, and somebody's card pops up. Oh, yeah, I'm going to need that here in a couple of months. So somebody that you've already met, you never know. That could turn into a valuable source, for something that's coming up. So just really building genuine relationships and providing support to others are key strategies into building a strong network.
Yeah. Well, that's strong. That's some good advice, because my company logo, it my motto is collaboration is better than competition.
Absolutely.
And people don't understand that. Everybody thinks, because I'm doing this, I can't make money with them because they're doing the same thing. Just do it differently. Sell the same product and just package it differently. So
that's being closed-minded. That's being closed-minded. Mm-hmm. Closed minds don't get fed either. So we have to be open-minded to interacting with other audiences. You'll be surprised. You think you don't have anything in common with the tech people or with the hospitality people or with the people in these different areas, but our basic needs are all the same, and you just never know where a cross need is gonna meet. And they've already seen you in action. They've already heard you speak. They know they know you're the expert or your stuff. So that's 50% of the sale right there versus a cold call to somebody you never met. They don't know you. You don't know them. There's anxiety, and you still don't know if you're going to, be able to get what you need. So So when you do this networking, that's like 50% of a sale. That's the way I see it. 50%. They've already seen you in action.
Yeah. With all that you've talked about so far, it can be very tiresome. How do you stay motivated during tough times in your entrepreneur's journey? Well,
one thing I always keep in mind, it's always a larger purpose behind the entrepreneur journey. You're not just doing, if people get into building a business or businesses or whatever for money, then that's going to die way before way before you do. So you have to get into this. It's a whole larger purpose behind being an entrepreneur journey. You got to have something that makes you that drives you other than just the money. And I surround myself with a support system of mentors and fellow entrepreneurs and people that's connected, that understand my plight. They go through the same thing or been through the same thing, and they understand the challenges. And a lot of times some people just have a contagious energy. That energy is just good to be around. Good energy, good people, and people that understand. I also see inspiration from, success stories. Gauging, I say self-care, I am a traveler. When I'm not doing business stuff, I'm off. I'm traveling. I'm enjoying myself. I'm sitting down. I'm taking care of me for, a few hours. When I get back, if I have big projects, I break those down into smaller sections. I don't try to take on one big thing at a time. I break it down in small sections and that small, that smaller section each day is the goal, not the big project. And that's how you get through a lot of it, is to maintain a sense of progress and motivation, So that's really the basis of it. Just keep a pace. You don't try to eat the whole lion. You cut the lion up in pieces.
Gotcha.
And take it from there.
Okay. Can you describe a situation where you had to take a calculated risk as an entrepreneur, and what was the outcome?
Yeah, there was one instance. I wanted to. I did. I invested in a significant portion from one of the businesses into developing a new product for the business, and it involved involved some risk. It was some calculated risk. As most time is required, and out of your financial, you already got your people you got to pay. You already got your set bills a month. But this was gonna be a risk taker if it, whether it did or did not work. And so, of course, there was some uncertainty. You can't always, market was good at the time, but who's to say next week, things won't change. So there's, markets are up and down. However, I went through and checked some things, checked that there was really a need, which I found there was that's called customer validation, to check there's actually a need for what you're trying to do, and some strategic marketing and stuff like that. And it resulted in a good, it was a good deal. For the first probably 30 to 60 days, I was like, oh, I don't know. But then around the third to the fourth month, I saw increased sales and profit margin. So it turned out to be a good decision. And, but it's like you say, it's a risk. Sometimes you take risks like that for your business to scale stuff and to grow it.
Yeah. How do you approach decision makings in your business? Do you rely on more data or intuition?
Probably a balanced approach when it comes to that. I do gather the information. I check out stuff. I make sure there's a real need, not just perceived need. See, when we look on social media, we see a lot of stuff, and to me, that's a perceived need. I check numbers. I see what the market looks like. I see what kind of consumer behavior looks like. I look for financial indicators and stuff like that, and check for real needs. And do that. And then too, sometimes things just come to you based off experience. Sometimes numbers it might not be enough data. You can look at some stuff, like for instance, when I set up that subscription service for those dog treats. It was some information out there, but it wasn't enough data for me to go back, say, like 5-6 years, because 5-6 years ago, people weren't doing a subscription service for dog treats. So I didn't have a whole lot of data, but I just went on a hunch. I went on based what I did see and a hunch, and then, just being out kind of in a market to see what was really going on. And so sometimes you're going to follow a hunch. You're going to follow your intuition and your business experience. So I would say it's a balanced approach on all three of those, when making those type of decisions.
Okay. What role do you believe innovation plays in entrepreneurship, and how do you foster a culture of innovation for your ventures?
Well, innovation is like the lifeblood of entrepreneurship. That involves you got to identify the needs, develop creative solutions, and adapt to changing markets. So to foster a culture of innovation, I encourage an open, inclusive working environments where everyone's ideas are valued. Although I have my VAs, and they're contracted people, but we meet once a week. Hey, what's your idea for this week? Or this is what we got going this week. How do you think we should approach this? Or and now, because we work with each other and we understand each other's language and how we communicate and stuff like that, and we have good, communication among the group. Now, most of the time I don't have to ask. They'll just, when I get in or when I open up that session, then they already, hey, this is what I got, this is what I'm thinking for this week, or this is where me and Maria done talked, and I could do this, and then I could roll this over her to finish off that. So the team already gets it. And just really having good communication lines is the biggest place in the middle of all of that. But that fosters the innovation and, get mindsets going. Everybody got a different skill set in that group, too. So, I might not be good on one thing, but they can see where something else can work much, much easier than maybe what I came up with. So then brainstorming sessions and cross-functional training, that stuff there is key. And if you're not cross-functioning in your business, then you really just wasting good talent. And that's a lot of times that's why people leave. Not after the money, after people leaving for the money, then the other reason is because they're not being used to their max. They're not being their greatest skills are not being used. That's the second reason people are leaving a job. So, you know, you just got to know how to capitalize on people's skill set and make it work for you.
Okay. Now, it's a little bit personal, but I have another question for you. Can you share a failure or a setback you've experienced as an entrepreneur and the lesson you learned from it?
Absolutely. There was one business, a business idea I had early on. This is before I actually went full-fledged business. And I set up this partnership, attempting to set up this business partnership with somebody. And like you said, we talked about things, but I just didn't get things in writing. And that was the worst thing you can ever do is set up. If you're going to set up any kind of business with anybody, you need to, I call it preparing a divorce at the beginning, at the marriage stage. You set the divorce up right there. That way, if something goes wrong or it does go away, at the end you already know what's going to happen because that's already been detailed and that's already been decided up front. And I didn't, and so it didn't like cost me a whole lot, but the abrupt separation did cost me like a lot of time. I had to gather up some things and pull some things back together because once we decided it was an abrupt split, we disagreed on something, and the person, said, well, it's my business, and I said, oh no, hold up, that ain't what we got working here. I got stuff in there just as much stuff in here just as well as you. I've committed just as much as you have. So then, I think we just need to go our separate ways. So that is what happened. And I had to regroup on some of the things that they were doing. You know what I'm saying? So had I thought about that and had that in writing and had that set up at the beginning, it could have even been worse than that because I was talking to my attorney and later on I got an attorney and did set up some things later on for the future. But it just taught me so many lessons up front. And had I been prepared, it would have just kept right on going smoothly. Instead of the abrupt, breaking time there where I had to go back out and hustle and get things together and pull some things back together because of the split. So, but it was a good lesson learned. And from then on, I haven't done any partnerships. Now I do collaborations all the time, and I've done a few joint ventures, but I don't do partnerships anymore. And that's just my personal preference. Not saying that partnerships can't work, but I just don't do them.
Yeah, that's definitely, I can tell you a story, boy, but, this is your interview, so I ain't go into it. But it's very important to make sure that your business is structured correctly because if it's not, boy, you will pay for it.
Oh, yeah, the business the setup of the business was structured, but how things would go, should we decide to separate the separation, that part was not defined. And so that's where that could have. Thank goodness, I thank my lucky stars. I say sometimes it was a good lesson, but a good lesson in disguise because that person, I was the person more business savvy. That person was not. Yeah. That person was more or less a worker. Hands-on technician. They more worker. I was the business person. So thank goodness I had some business savvy and I knew how to pull some things together. And I did. I kept on going, and I ended up having my own thing. I changed the name, got me a name, threw my own business, my own stuff together, shifted what I already had, and then gathered up what I didn't have and moved on. But thank goodness I knew how to do that because had I not, I would have been, real mess. And two, that person was, well, I'm going to need the bank cards. No. I opened a bank account, and that was my money got put in that bank account. Can you show me some receipt where you put some money in there? So, it's stuff like that. People you'll be surprised. Like you said, the stuff people try to pull, they know they didn't contribute on the end. So that in order to avoid all of that, I should have had all of that stuff in writing. But thank goodness they went on their way. I went on my way, and I was able to, salvage myself and reestablish and get things going. But had there been somebody who was just like me, I would have probably not been so lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I appreciate you coming on to the show and answering our questions. But I have one more thing to ask of you. Can you please give everybody your contact information and Facebook, email, whatever, so that they can reach out to you if they're looking to try to start their own business or, even need somebody to mentor them?
Okay. For the email, they can contact AGC, A as in Apple, G as in George, C as in Cat, wholesale at gmail.com. AGC Wholesale.
Okay.
My
phone number you want to reach that? I'm sorry.
321. My Instagram, I have an Instagram, and it's Dr. Dr. She SHE and Serves SERVES. So it's Dr. She Serves. That's my Instagram.
Okay. You want to leave a phone number?
Okay.
And a number. Normally, we just get messages here for guests or whatever. Most of vendors contact this one, but if you call here and leave a message, we can get. We're pretty quick on this number. It's 321-710-6568. 321-710-6568.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Hopefully we'll
Thank
bring
you for
back
having me.
and you can
Yes,
talk
we
about
really
some more
enjoyed it.
ventures. And maybe we can get you to do a class on helping people start their business, or maybe somebody could just reach out to you if they hear this podcast this evening, and maybe you can help somebody and show them how to structure their business.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what we are. We resources, and that's what we are here to do, to help somebody else come along in the process and not make the same, bumbles that we made, and then too share some of the successes we made. So, that's what it's all about.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
You
You
Thank
too.
you.
And we want to thank everyone for tuning into the show. Thank you guys for listening. And that does it for us. And join us Saturday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.